Well, hello there to my Taurians. This is Queen Amun-Ra coming to you with your general reading. All right, happy Friday to my Taurus. Taurus. So Fridays connect us with Venus, your ruling planet. Actually, yours and Libra's ruling planet, right? So yours and Libra's ruling planet, Venus. The goddess of love, pleasure, enjoyment, relationships, cooperation, erotic love, sexual desire, beauty, romance, attraction, just love in all forms, aesthetics, like I said, art and music, but also connects you with who's a peacemaker, who's also vengeful and vain, and who sees your worth and your value, who's attracted to you, what's attracted to you. Also beautiful, who sees you as beautiful, beautiful spirit, who doesn't see you as a beautiful spirit, whatever. You attract everything. You're a magnet, right? You're a magnet for everything. You just have to learn how to be a gatekeeper for, what you don't want in your universe, okay? So what I'm seeing here, looking at your cards, is that you were patient enough, and I'm talking to you wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, just so we're crystal clear. So when I do readings, it's not just your, I'm not just doing your personal planets, okay? Personal planets, and we know obviously that the sun and moon are luminaries, not planets, but personal planets would be the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, right? Those are personal planets. So when you hear people say, you're talking to your sun, moon, rising, Venus. Venus would be in the principle of pleasure and relating, to what I just mentioned, right? So Fridays connect us with, Venus, right? So it rules the day of the week. Friday, the metal would be copper, the color green, as in, my sweater here, green. But it also it shows you, who's vain, vengeful, green with envy when they don't get what they want, right? So somebody is sitting somewhere feeling like they are they were built, like how they were going to build something, like they could bully people out of something. They had all the physical resources, like money was going to be able to bully them out of something. Like money is a form of energy, by the way. But that's not the only resource, right? That's not the only resource, right? Air, water, fire, resources, right? But there's only one source, right? Whatever your belief is, this is not religion class. This is not believe what you want to believe, right? But source is saying that somebody felt like they had the money to bully you out of something. Somebody felt like they had the money to bully you out of something, right? They was going to just bully you out of something, right? Da, 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 da. And source says, hold on, Calpo. the creator says, hold on, Calpo, not so fast. So people are paying attention that there's other resources besides money. This right here could look like somebody is helping you to pay attention. There's other things that you're paying besides money, right? You don't have to pay for stuff when you learn how to pay attention. Pay attention, okay? Some people answer the call on their lives. 9 and ace is 10. Some people who have lived it, they live nightmares of some people who have some things in common that you have in common. Sources say their information is worth more than you can imagine. You won't have to pay a dime. All you need to do is pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. Pay attention. What's it in 1 hour out of your day? Pay attention. What's it worth? What's it worth to you to pay attention? Go sit yourself down somewhere and pay attention. When you're dealing with somebody who is passionate about the call on their lives, it's like sitting down here in a really good sermon with somebody who has answered the call on their lives, and they're not just doing it for money. They're doing it because that's what they were called to do. And you feel like when you walked in, you walked through that door and you said you feel like crap. But when you walked out, you feel like, okay, I can go back to that job that I was about to quit, or I'm about to let them people have it. They don't know. They don't know. Whoever was standing in that pulpit just saved them from getting told off, right? The people they don't know, right? Or you could have heard of a motivational speaker, right? You could have heard a motivational speaker that says, gave you some creative ideas. Whoever's passionate about whatever their purpose is in life. So it's just saying you're learning how to sit down somewhere and say, okay, I don't have to pay money for everything. If I just pay attention, the information will come to me and I didn't have to pay a dime. Everybody is a star. Everybody is a star. Some people are really fishers of men. I don't have to carry everybody on my back. I just have to pay attention. It's like being in the company of a good leader. We're not talking about a manager. We're talking about a leader, somebody who can spot this person will be good for this. This person will be good. I can see this on this person. This person will be good for this. They'll be good for this. They'll be good for this and good for this, right? So somebody is quite resourceful. And this is you right here, head thrown back, laughing. Ah, ha, 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 ha. You laugh? Taurus, you laughing. Hold on. Let's get into it. I'm generous and kind with everyone. I'm generous and kind with everyone. Somebody thought their money was going to do something, but money, it take more than just money. It take more than just money, right? Money is a resource. It's not source. But see, in money, some people trust, right? Even though on their currency, it says, in God we trust, but in some people, they believe in money we trust. They say, oh, money will buy anything. And they'll tell people that, they'll say it out of their mouth, oh, money can buy anything and everybody. Right? So I feel like somebody's going to answer the call on their lives. Whoever you are, you're answering the call on your life. All right. So your current energy is the Queen of Pentacles here, right? Nurturing, protective energy surrounds you. You're grounded and ready to build. An affirmation for you is, I create stability through care, patience, and vision. Care, patience, and vision, right? And so somebody is tough. You built to last. You're very patient. Zodiac sign, Taurus. You all are a sign that a lot of people don't give Taurians credit for the level of patience that you all have, with people. A lot of people are like, I would have done this and they don't know what they would have done. They can take that somewhere else. People always tell you what they would have done. That's them, right? I would have paid for this and I would have paid for that. I would have done this if I had the money that you had. That's like a person that said, if I could sing like that person, I would be doing. You don't know what that person has gone through, what's making them sing like that. You don't know what's making the emotion come out of them like that. You don't know why a person plays an instrument the way they make it do, to make the instrument cry. Have a person sitting there in tears, like how does that person make that guitar sing like that? How does you don't know what they've gone through, where they put every ounce of that spirit into an instrument. You have no clue. So when a person says stuff like, oh, if I had this, I would have done, they don't know. They have no idea. Your level of patience, they don't know what it took for you to be that patient. So somebody need to go sit down somewhere. Right? So here's what you're releasing, the Nine of Swords. Worry, anxiety, and overthinking begin to dissolve as your foundation strengthens, right? An affirmation for you is, I release fear and return to peace. Right? What you're gaining is Ace of Pentacles here. A new opportunity for abundance, stability, or financial growth emerges. So an affirmation for you is, new blessings take root in my life now. That's what you're saying. This is an affirmation that you're saying to yourself. All you need to do is pay attention. Information is going to come to you. I keep trying to tell y'all are money magnets. The information is going to come to you. You just need to gatekeep that other junk that's trying to distract you. Because some people feel like some things are their way or the highway. You got to keep all the busyness, the noise away from you, whoever you are, right? Yeah, here's the Empress card. This is you growing your abundance, and because somebody is a fisher of men. Y'all reckon this is what mirrors. You can be fisher of men many different ways, right? Somebody is very passionate about what they do. That's why their abundance and prosperity is growing. And it could be growing in different ways. Like, for instance, your money could be growing, but somebody else's resources could be growing. Their knowledge could be growing in something. Put it together, boom. Y'all see what Y'all see what I'm saying? For real. Boom. That all of a sudden, this is what you give birth to. Right? So whether you're together with somebody or not, there was a purpose for you coming together with somebody. Somebody could have given birth to a child who, that child could be like the next president of whatever your country is, because y'all could both come from a background, like family of fishers of men, human. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? And then here comes somebody who feels like, oh, you got the money, because they're just looking at the physical, but somebody else has the other resources in the physical realm, like books, movies. They got, like they have other resources, right? And giving birth to something, right? So what you don't need are energies that do stuff sneaky behind people's back, because they don't know what to believe. They're torn in what they believe. So you don't need scattered energy. That's why I talk about recalling all parts of yourself, and sending back what doesn't belong to you with harm to none. You don't want anything that belongs to somebody else. If you weren't called to do that, you don't want somebody else's. If that person was called to do this, you don't want that. That's what they were called to do. Because guess what? You would look like a hot mess trying to do what they doing, just because you thinking that's how they getting paid. Right? Because what I look like trying to perform an exorcism on somebody. I'm not a priest, child. That person, they could hang it up. They can forget it. Right? So Source is trying to help somebody. Source is trying to help somebody recognize that there's many different resources, answer the call in your life. And so something is coming right to your door. And when I say come to your door, and I'm talking about in the spirit realm, like literally, it's like you could be sitting there watching something, right? In secret, you could be secretly watching something, right? Like nobody else knows. Here you are, just quietly, just like and a light turns on for you. How they know I'm secretly watching them on social media, right? Okay, it must be popping up in their algorithms. That could be one reason. That could be one way. But somebody is like, I'm starting to pay attention now. I'm starting to pay attention now because I'm tired of spending money. Good. That's a good thing. Stop reaching way down in your wallet, in your purse, paying for all this stuff that you worked hard for, that's sitting right on the internet, coming from people who are passionate about what they love to do, that they were called to do, right? So Source is saying, you're now paying attention. You're now paying attention. What you need to focus on: Six of Pentacles, balance, giving and receiving, share wisely, receive generously, right? So affirmation: I exchange energy in harmony and gratitude. You know what's coming to me whenever I see the Six of Pentacles? Not on this particular deck, which is the Light Seers deck, because somebody has the gift. Somebody is a seer. And they've realized they've been a seer since they've been seeing things for a long time. They have a sixth sense, and they see things in the physical sense. Like they can look at a person and see stuff on people, right? So several things that come into mind. One is this, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about Eddie Murphy. That's one. This, what's the name of the movie that's on Netflix? It's not Becoming Eddie. It's something about, y'all know, if you have Netflix, you know what I'm talking about. But he was describing, like early in the movie, one part where he was saying, I think it's a documentary, when he was saying that they were describing, what he was describing, what I think what doctors call like ADHD or some kind of OCD or something, right? But he was kind of describing how he would get up and like check the kitchen and make sure the stove wasn't on, and he'd go lay back down and get back up and check the stove and see if it was on or whatever he was saying. And then he said he was happened to watch, and I'm paraphrasing, he was saying he kind of like happened to watch something that was on TV, and they were saying something about mental illness, and he was like, I gotta stop that SHIT, which I thought was funny. But he knew even at that young age, okay, he may not have known that he was gifted, but he knew something, right? He knew something. And so, and another thing that's also coming to me too is that something about your energy, you knew you knew about your gifts. You knew that you had a lot of creative gifts that were passed down to you and your family. This is creative gifts here, right? The way I like to try to explain in the physical realm, psychic gifts are like best practices, right? Because Pisces rules 12th house. We're not talking about a Pisces, but they rule 12th house, right? And so when we're closing out a cycle, the end of something, and it connects us with the pineal gland, like this oil here that's on my Etsy store. And you're like, okay, now my eyes are open to what wasn't open before. I was waiting to see something in the physical realm when now I'm awakened to something. Like, okay, I'm looking for something like, okay, I got to pay for something. I got to pay for some information when actually I'm just seeing like there are some people who really have lived some stuff. You can see how hard they work. Like they really sit and study and read. They talking it because they lived it. They walked the walk. They talk the talk because they actually walked it. Right? You'll know. You'll know. They talk the talk because they lived it. Right? Right? And you have some things in common with some people. You have some things in common with some people. And some people think they can just throw money at anything. Right? What I'm also picking up for you all, Taurus, is that somebody right now thinks that they can be in certain social circles. See this right here? They feel like they can be in certain social circles with certain families. See how these kids right here in the background, but these are really adults with inner children, right? They have inner kids, right? This family is going to be the end of whoever this energy is who feel like they can just throw money at a situation, but they don't see that yet because they don't, for some reason, somebody does not realize they're in human form. They've been so used to throwing money at something. You must be talking about somebody who has a lot of money because they're so used to throwing money at a situation. They're in a bigger league. Whoever this is, they're in a bigger league, right? Financially, they're in a bigger league, right? And they're dealing with an energy that would not hesitate to end them, would not blink an eyelash. They're in a whole different league now. To help somebody understand what I'm talking about here, you were patient enough to sit back and say, okay, this energy, whoever this energy is, think they could just throw money at people. They could just throw money at people and cause nightmares. They can just, okay, here, pay this person for, give a nightmare for this person, where they sit back and laugh. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh, and then put familiar spirits around people, like corner them on all four corners. We're going to pay for somebody to hit a nightmare. At their root chakra, okay? Their first auric layer. So we're going to make sure somebody is 1 to 3 inches off their physical body. That's their etheric body, right? That's the root chakra. Then we're going to make sure we got somebody who is 2 to 3 inches off of their physical body. That's the emotional layer. So we're going to first of all hit their root chakra, their emotional body. That's their sacral chakra. Then we're going to hit their mental body. 3 inches off of their physical body, right? That's their conscious and subconscious mind. It'll reveal any self-doubts or limiting beliefs, right? We're going to see if something will shift their mood, right? That's their second layer. The first layer would be anything connecting us to health and their tribe, who they're around, their belief systems about this and that. We're going to keep we're going to get somebody to hit all 4 layers, right? And then we're going to come at their astral body. This right here, secretly. Somebody thought they was perfect. We're going to come at every layer. We're going to hit their dream, this astral body right here, so we can make them have nightmares, right? But somebody, when you learn how to send that energy back, now that energy is being sent back and it's hitting them. This energy that they think that they're They are they feel like they got connected with a very wealthy, they feel like they're in a different group, a different socioeconomic class, a different group of energies. They're cornered on all four sides because of what they did to get to where they are. So you can wake up from your nightmare. You can wake up from your nightmare. Energetic clearing. So during crisis, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. Whoever you are, you can wake up from your nightmare. And that's all I'm going to say in your reading, because there's a lot more I could say in your reading, but I'm going to let Source show you all. Source has to show you. Yeah, grieving. Yeah, grieving. There is a rebirth that's happening here. You made a very powerful, whoever you are, you made a very powerful, there's a metamorphosis here. Very, very powerful rebirth. That's not the word I'm looking for, though. I want to say awakening, because I don't feel like you're grieving anymore. But there's some kind of a powerful awakening here. You could have been grieving something before, but I don't feel like you're grieving anymore. I don't feel like you're grieving anymore. The awakening comes from the fact that I feel like somebody is now recognizing how powerful your gifts are. Let me see how I can explain this. It's like somebody went from physically carrying people on their back. It's almost like an example I gave one time before. Taurus was like this guy and his wife went to dinner. If you've been tuned into my channel for a while, and the wife was like, this time get separate checks. Y'all probably heard this story before. And the husband was kind of, was just sad because nobody said thank you, goodbye, nothing when they left. They just walked out the restaurant. Okay, like they were just expecting for the husband and the wife to pick up the tab. And this time the husband said, no, we're going to get separate checks. This time you're learning how gifted and talented you are at spotting. It's like I said, as a leader, you're learning how to spot, how to delegate duties. Like you're learning how to say, okay, this one is good for this one is good for that, this one is good for this one is good for that, and this is going to grow your abundance and your prosperity. But you're the one that's realize this is how you're picking your team of people. This is how you're picking your family. This is how you want people who work hard in their purpose, right? Yeah, somebody want like independent people who can work independently. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like on teams, people don't have to always be told what to do. People don't need to be micromanaged. Like they know how to structure their day. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like number 4, people who have who know how to structure their day. They get up, they set their schedule. They know how to structure their day. Other leaders. They leaders training other leaders. You don't have to tell them what to do. You don't have to micromanage them, right? They hardworking. They hit the ground running. They ready to go, right? Those kind of energies. Yeah, but somebody felt like, so you're recognizing your gifts. You're recognizing your gifts. So when people were saying that somebody was assuming that you were lazy, whoever you are, when really, once you learn how to attract your, what you wanted to you, and you said, okay, I need to gatekeep, I need to be able to discern. It's the spirit of discernment. Somebody had to learn how to discern, and a light for you came on when you said, okay, I'm secretly watching something. I'm secretly watching something because I'm trying to put together my family, right? It could be work family. It could be a team that you're working on a project. It could be anything. When I say family, it's not always blood relative, just so we're crystal clear. I'm looking at, right, whatever, right? You could at first look at it like, okay, somebody was grieving family. That could look like it at first, like, okay, this person is really missing their family. That would be like on the outside looking at it that way. Because somebody could be like, well, I found out this person, they're really grieving their family. They really, really sad. Because you feel like I paid for some, maybe we need to send somebody to do a wellness check. Some people would be like, no, you don't. Wellness check. And find out that somebody's having a great life, right? Because somebody said that they was having nightmares. Again, a complete and total waste of resources. If somebody if somebody actually needed a wellness check done, yeah, absolutely, if that was the case. But some people are only using resources, just using up people's money. You're like, I'm not paying for something. I need to start paying attention. If I'm going to pay for something, I'm going to pay for some attention. Somebody has gone through a very powerful, very, very powerful rebirth. So some people not grieving at all. Yeah, some people aren't grieving at all. Some people have gone through some of the same things that you've gone through. Some people just think that they thought that they were connecting with you because they were looking at you as like, okay, your love language is money. Somebody thought that your love language was money, not realizing that you were growing and you were going through grief, some kind of grief for you, whatever the grief was concerning your resources, some kind of grief that could have been a nightmare for you, opened up other things you started paying attention to. And you start realizing all this information, these downloads are coming to me. It's almost like a person saying, okay, what did we recently have? Like some people don't know who their neighbors are until they snowed in. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like one thing stops. Okay, the roads are shut down. You snowed in. Okay, then you're like, okay, I'm not going to stay in the house and be snowed in. So you get outside and start shoveling. Then you're like, oh, I never knew these next door neighbors. You start knocking on doors. You start shoveling snow. You mean shovel your snow off? What's your name? My name is so-and-so. How long have you lived here? That kind of stuff. Stuff starts coming to you, right? Or you may not realize your gifts and talents until you have a government shutdown or something else is happening, right? And all of a sudden, something puts a fire up under you. You get structured and authoritative, right? So somebody is now realizing, wait a minute. Everybody is not behind closed doors having nightmares because of somebody making up some kind of lie about something. Some people have had nightmares. Remember, this right here is developed starting at the age of 20, 22 years old. Heart chakra, making connections from young age, making a young age. That's why somebody know their worth and their value. That's why some people are like, they don't want to be involved in certain things. They don't want to be connected to certain things. Don't invite them. So yeah, work through your fears. Yeah, work through your fears. Somebody was stung really, really bad. Like somebody, and went through some kind of a transformation, like death, the end of something, and it could have been the end of a cycle. really caused a transformation where a person, it's like they grieve something really, really hard, right? They grieve something hard. It could have been like could have been the end of anything, and this is in your family, by the way. It could have been the end of a job, right? It could have been the end of you never know what caused the person to answer the call on their lives, but something caused the person to answer the call on their lives, to finally recognize that people really saw them, that other people placed did not see their worth or see their value. Right? Somebody may not have seen your worth and seen your value, and this is what you have in common with people, is that, but you're the fisher of men. When I say human, obviously you know I'm saying human, and you're starting to see your worth and see your value, whoever you are. So you're learning how to work through your fears. You're learning how to end unhealthy relationships with people who just want to just sting people so bad. It's almost like putting a taser to a person to wake them up. Like, okay, we need to send a shock to them, and we need to do something that's going to wake them up. We need to create a nightmare in their life. I mean, just craziness. Yeah, your commitment is being tested. We had a first quarter moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is a humanitarian zodiac sign. So somebody really wanted to make somebody look like a fool. Somebody really wanted to send a wellness team to somebody's house to put somebody, this would have caused some people to rejoice. Let's do it our way or the highway. We're going to do it our way. We're going to do it our way. Just sick. They sound like they grieving. Grieving what? Some people sound like they rejoicing. Yep, some people sound like they rejoicing. They could have had that many nightmares in their own family that they actually sound like they rejoicing. That source has cleared the path. That a generational cycle chain and curse has finally been broken. That's what some people could be rejoicing. So, all right. Here we have King of Wands here. You have a spirit guide that's watching you. But some energies also wanted to make sure that they put... you have some people that was just sitting there waiting. They just sitting there waiting to just leap. Like just taking some leap. Just... Yeah. Here we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah. So 4 of Coins here. Yeah. So I do see you being conservative with your time because you are resourceful, and you do have a spirit guide that's watching out for you. So whoever you are, this is what you have in common with somebody. People who think they can just throw money at anything and don't realize that you're not grieving. You've actually had a rebirth into some kind of whoever you are. Again, if you are, then just like I said, take what resonates with you. If you are, then please call somebody for some help, or if you have a best friend, or or something. But somebody has gone through a rebirth, and I'm talking to you wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, right? Wherever. It doesn't have to be your sun sign. It could be wherever is in your birth chart. But somebody felt like just throwing money at something would just solve a problem. That does not solve a problem. Money doesn't solve everything. An energetic clearing is happening. What I'm seeing here during Mercury retrograde, and this is wish fulfillment here, is that somebody has learned how to keep people out of their business while they are learning new things. They've learned how to keep people out of their business or learning things. You got to remember, like these 2 cards here, where's the card? Okay, so Scorpio rules 8th house, right? And the fact that somebody is learning something, and somebody wants to see exactly what someone is learning, and like what resources they're learning, where are you learning this from, and all this other stuff. They don't want those types of energies. Whoever this is, whoever you are, this is what you're connecting with. The judgment. Because remember, Scorpio is ruled by the judgment card, which is Pluto, and it's also ruled by the Tower card. These energies are so impulsive in thinking that you're grieving, or that somebody else is grieving over something, or someone that you have in common with, right? Instead of them just saying, this person actually is working. Y'all, let me tell you something. A lot of people going to be keeping people out of their business. Because nowhere in that is love. Nowhere in that. That says, all that says is that you don't even know your own loved ones. That's what that says. You don't even know your own loved ones. You get a little bit of money and then decide you're going to toss money at something. You don't even know your own loved ones. And ain't even trying to get to know them. So that's what I see. That's what I see for your cards. So Source is doing an energetic clearing here. An energetic clearing. That's how you're going to start being conservative with your time. You're going to start paying attention instead of just tossing money at stuff and being around people who just want to pay for every little thing. You're going to start paying attention. That's how you're going to save money, and that's how you're going to circulate your own wealth. Yep, circulation of wealth. You have the gift of clairsentience. You pick up on others' vibrations, their emotions, moods, and feelings. So drink more water as a form of self-care. Take your time to decide. You deserve the best. Angel Uriel, the prophecy and wisdom of prophecy, the angel of prophecy and wisdom, and your gifts have increased. Yeah, these are the type of people, they want to do sneak surprise visits. Oh, we just concerned because it's the holidays. They weren't concerned no other holidays. So move on in silence and move on in peace, child. You weren't concerned no other holidays. Keep the same energy. Don't give yourself a headache over it. So the answers you seek are coming soon. Just want to be nosy. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. So, like I said, it's all love, but protect your energy. Protect your energy. A lot of your wishes are being fulfilled. Because you are resourceful, and the resources is that you go into hermit mode, which is you're going into communion with yourself, and you're learning how to pay attention as you're watching something in secret, right? You're watching something in secret. Somebody is not grieving like people were saying. They've actually gone through a very powerful transformation. See this butterfly right here? They've gone through a very powerful transformation, and they're keeping people out of their business. There's a big difference. That's what I have for you. Bye. Okay, so this is the second part with your candles, Taurus, right? So the candles, green candle is for abundance, growth, and opportunity. For those of you all who want to write this down, in case you may have these candles around your house. A brown candle is for grounding, home, and stability. A pink candle you can use for self-love plus emotional harmony. And a gold candle you can use for prosperity plus confidence, right? So some gemstones that you may already have: emerald, which is heart healing plus abundance. Rose quartz, which you may already have, is for gentle emotional balance. A green aventurine, which you may already have, is for luck and new opportunities. Malachite is for transformation plus protection. And a smoky quartz is for grounding plus energetic cleansing. You can place them at your bedside, altar, or in your pocket. Some herbs for you all in terms of like bath, teas, incense, or simmer pots could be chamomile, the chamomile tea that you drink. That's for soothing and grounding. Mint tea could be for refreshment of energy and clarity. Basil could be for prosperity and protection. Thyme could be for courage plus strength. And then rose could be for self-love and harmony. All right. Here's some affirmations that I created for you all in case you want to write these down. First one is, I am rooted, secure, and open to abundance. Second one is, my path unfolds with gentle strength and divine timing. A third one is, I welcome new opportunities that support my long-term success. Fourth one is, I nurture myself and my dreams with patience and love. And fifth one is, stability grows in every area of my life. In every area of my life. Yeah. But these are the, like I said, these are the types of energies, like I said, they feel like they want to send shock waves through, you know, people's lives, and then can't figure out for the life of them why people don't want to be bothered at all. Why people just close their doors, don't want to be bothered. So get a little bit of money and start acting out. But somebody is in different circles right now, but that's the shock they're gonna get, because they're in a totally different circle now. So your work is done. So all right, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you all in the next video, and so continue raising your frequency and operating in the spirit of love. Continue operating in the spirit of love. Here we have talent. Somebody has a lot of gifts and talents here that you may just kind of sort of keep, you know, bottled up. But again, this is what you have in common with someone, is that somebody is very compassionate towards people, just in general. But you're gonna have to learn how to protect your gifts. You're gonna have to learn how to protect your gifts. Really learn how to protect your gifts. All right, bye.